Kutzil's Flanker is one of the best playing cards in the entire game. It's good late game, it's good early game, it's a defensive card, it's a negate card, it's a monster card, it's everything you could want in a card. I've never seen a card like that in Magic. Hey YouTube, my name's Kush, and I'm going to be looking at the Lost Caverns of Ixalan card image gallery. I'm streaming this live on Twitch, so some chats might pop up. But regardless, let's just look at the new cards. This is going to be how far I can zoom in. If you would like to see it like more zoomed in, feel free to let me know. But I'll just try this for now. So the first card is Albino's Awakening, and this is X3 1 plane. That's a very strange card. Albino's Awakening is a very strange card. I'm not entirely sure how it works. You could play it for 4 mana, but it's like a weak monster. I don't get it. Yeah, I don't know its purpose, but it may have some use in a gimmicky strategy. Acrobatic Leap is 1 plane. Target creature gets 1 attack and 3 defense and gains flying. It's a standard battle trick in draft, right? Adaptive Gemguard is 4 mana. Tap 2 untapped artifacts or creatures you control. Put a 1/1. Activate only as a sorcery. Why is it only as a sorcery? Why do you need to do 2? It's just like, bruh, it's kind of bad. Like, really bad, actually. Attentive Sunscribe for 2 mana. Whenever it becomes tapped, scry 1. Yeah, it's okay. You could just run it with the other guy. But I don't really seeing play outside of draft. So Bat Colony, I'm guessing, works with like land cards. It summons a flying thing for Cave Spend. Don't understand what Caves is currently. Maybe it's a new like type of card. I don't know. But yeah, it's an interesting card. I mean, it's not bad to get a flying token. So Clayfired Bricks is actually one of the better cards I've seen so far, mainly for the fact that you can search your library for a basic plains card. There is another card that does it. It's like Farm Hand something. She's like 2 mana as well. But you know what's better? This is an artifact, which means you can use it with like power cores, which it might sound weird, but this is such a powerful card that you might want to implement that into a deck, considering the fact too that you gain 2 life and you can craft this for 7 mana, or if you have power cores for cheaper, into a pretty powerful creatures you control get 1/1. I think the best one currently that does this is Vampire Wedding. I believe that's what it's called, or Wedding Imitation. I forget the name. This is just it, but you also get a plane search. Like, it's like running Elgato, which is a 3 mana card, along with the vampire card built in 1, except this is a common for some reason. Good job, Magic the Gathering, releasing a very powerful card for super cheap. I'm going to be running that. Cosmium Blast is 2 mana. This card's kind of bad. There's already cards like it. I'm not going to really look at it. I think it's just there for the draft. Dauntless Dismantler is okay. It's good against artifacts. But who really plays artifacts, right? So in draft it'll be good, but outside of draft, I mean, I don't think it will see play. Deconstruction Hammer. Now, I've never seen a plain card do this, so it must be good, right? Especially considering the fact it's not an enhancement and it's an artifact, which usually they're enhancements, and you can take advantage of the power cores. A lot of these cards are like artifact, like kind of related, so good card. I like that one. Okay, so Dusk Rose Reliquary. This card is removal for 1 mana. Yes, you do need to sacrifice an artifact or a creature, but if you're able to generate tokens or artifacts and you're able to fulfill that cost fairly easy, you have a ward 2, just straight up removal. And it's an artifact too, so it benefits off of the power cores in the artifact engine. That's an incredibly powerful card. It's a little scarily powerful. Envoy of Ionok, the Ahau. I hope I pronounced that right. 3 mana for 5 mana, create a gnome. I don't know why you'd be playing this. Is it because it's a cat? Is it for the cat fans? It's a bad card. Fabrication Foundry is interesting. It's, I mean, I guess you tap it for a plane. That's the best I can say. The other effect is weird. It could come up, but I don't see it coming up too often. I think it's kind of a mid card. Family Reunion is okay. I kind of like the hexproof for all your monsters. Get Lost sounds like an annoying card to figure out. You need to know what a map token is, and then a map token needs you to know what Explorer is. And bro, how about this card, just Get Lost? I don't care about it. Glorifier of Suffering for 3 mana. When it enters the battlefield, you may sacrifice another creature artifact. When you do, put a 1/1 counter on each of up to 2 target creatures. I mean, it's an okay mid card. In draft, it'll be okay. Guardian of the Great Door is a remarkable common card. I didn't expect to see a 4/4 that you could play potentially on turn 2 or 3 that has flying that can go in for damage. That's good late game. That has potential to be very, very powerful early game. It's a well-rounded card. I think the only thing it's missing is Ward. If it had Ward, it would be perfect. Helping Hand, 1 plane. Return target creature with, oh, another Monster Reborn card. I like those. You know what? I'll take those. That's a good one. Ironpaw Aspirant isn't the worst card in the world. It's an immediate, when it hits the field, you put a counter on a target creature. The only one that comes to my head that can benefit really from this is this Vampire Lady. When she gets like a counter, you draw a card. Kinjalli's Dawnrunner is an extremely powerful card in draft. Outside of draft, I don't think it's going to be seeing much play. Kutzil's Flanker is one of the best playing cards in the entire game. This is a flash card, which means you can play it during your opponent's turn. And when it enters the battlefield, you can exile your target player's graveyard. That is really, I mean, there are already playing cards that do this, but you get it as a flash monster. That's 3/1 that can clear most early game and mid game threats. Besides that, you could gain 2 life, scry 2, I think that's garbage. Or you could just put a counter on this card and make it really, really big if a lot of monsters leave the field. It's good late game, it's good early game, it's a defensive card, it's a negate card, it's a monster card, it's everything you could want in a card. I've never seen a card like that in Magic. That is one of the best cards I've ever seen. Malamet War Scribe, 5 mana. When this card enters the battlefield, creatures you control get 2 attack and 1 defense. That's kind of mid. Gnome seems essential for a certain type of strategy. I don't know what that strategy is. I don't know what activated craft ability is, but I mean, it's not a bad card. Drawing a card is not a bad thing, and it's like a defender, so pretty cool thing. Best part, it's not a defender. You can attack with it if you put a counter. I don't know how to feel about Might of the Ancestors. It's a cool card, and it's low rarity, and yeah, it does something that no other card has done, and it does it pretty well. Why are these so good? I actually spent some of my common and uncommons. Why did I do that? These cards are so good. Miner's Guidewing is a Flying Vigilance playing 1/1. Now that doesn't sound like much a 1/1, but flying can get over pretty much any monster. Best part is you can still block with this, so you can still protect yourself with it, and you can go in for early game damage, and when it dies, it does something. And it does something very well. It can either get you a card, essentially draw 1, or puts a counter. And counters aren't the worst thing in the world. Counters can be kind of annoying to get over. Best case for Mischievous Pup, I believe, is your opponent's attacking your card, and I think you summon Mischievous Pup, you bounce the monster your opponent's attacking, you're choosing to block with or whatever, and their attack fizzles, so it doesn't go through, and you get your card back to hand. So Adrotak Deepest Foundation sounds to me like the ultimate token creation boss. Besides that, when she does die, she does float into a land that can just bring herself back if you attack with 3 or more monsters. Not a bad card, can definitely see why she's a mythical. I don't see her seeing play in standard though. The only good thing I can see about Oltec is that it's a human, like legit. The effect for 5 mana to grab an artifact from your graveyard, you're not even putting it on the battlefield, you're just putting it in your hand. Scry 3? Yeah, how about Scry nothing? I'm not going to play that card, that's a bad one. Oltec Cloud Guard, 4 mana, you get a flying monster with a token, pretty standard stuff. It's okay, in draft it'll be used. Truly, I can't say to you how useful Oteclan Landmark is, mainly for the fact that scrying is useful to a certain degree, and that is not a bad effect to scry 2. But the craft ability is interesting because you can also use your graveyard as a resource in order to make a monster that's a 1/4 with not the most impressive stats or effect, flying, but gives another monster flying, which means that in certain strategies, this is a very good card because it might facilitate your like combo piece searching using the scry engine, and it can also facilitate your endgame piece by giving a potentially strong attacking value monster flying, so it's hard to be blocked. Potentially an OTK piece or a card that's used in strategies where your main goal is just to kill your opponent. Petrify is literally just a negate. Whatever you target on the field just can't use anything that it has. Quicksand Whirlpool is a really cool removal card in draft specifically. Outside of draft, I don't really see it seeing much play. 6 mana, exile target creature. It's not even a target permanent. So Resplendent Angel isn't a bad card. I'm surprised it's a mythical though. It feels more in the rare tier. Essentially, you can use her as a 3/3 flying, which isn't bad for 3 mana, but if you can fulfill her cost for 6 mana, you can potentially at most gain 5 life and generate a 4/4 White Angel creature token with Flying and Vigilance. Both Flying and Vigilance on the creature token is impressive. Ruin-Lurker Bat is a flying lifelink 1/1 that has the potential to scry you if a card is sent to your graveyard. Sanguine Evangelist gives me the Tenacious Underdog vibes and the Mosswood Dread Knight vibes, except for planes. Main reason I say this is because when she enters the battlefield, you do get a creature token, also when you die, so you get 2 of them technically, but also the Battle Cry ability, which not only benefits your tokens that you just created, but any other potential monsters. It can really make plane decks ramp up very quickly, and I think the best part about her is that she's not a legendary creature, meaning that if you run multiple of her, and you have multiple of her on the field, I'm assuming the ability stacks on itself. Soaring Sandwing is 6 mana, and it's okay, you gain 3 life, you can use it as a plane cycling card. Spring-Loaded Saw Blades is a powerful flash removal card that has the potential in an artifact deck to become a 5/5 creature. Thousand Moonblade Crackshot, I believe there's already a card like this. Yeah, I don't really think it's that impressive. Thousand Moons Infantry to me seems like an engine generator card or a mana value generator card. Besides that, it's a 2/4 human soldier, so it has good enough names. Just wish it was an artifact creature. That would have just made it perfect. Thousand Moons is a ramping card. It enters the battlefield, it creates something. Like as soon as it hits the board, it makes something. So that's nice. So you get advantage immediately. But if you can manage to do the fulfillment cost, it feels like you're doing the Exodia. But if you're going to do the Exodia, you're just generating tokens every single turn. Tinker's Tot's pretty bad. I mean, it just creates 2 1/1s and you can sacrifice gain life, but it's 3 mana, so it's too expensive already. Unstable Glyphon Bridge is essentially a board wipe for 5 mana, except this board wipe for 5 additional mana and crafting an artifact by banishing 1 on your field or your graveyard can essentially make your opponent lose 0.5 of a turn. What I mean by that is they can activate a spell but they can't attack, or they can activate no spells and they can attack. It really slows down their turns and it's going to be very annoying. Vanguard of the Rose is not bad, but it's not good. I could see it seeing play in draft. Outside of draft, not really. Mainly for the fact that you do need to pay mana in addition to sacrificing another creature just to protect that not even important monster. Warden of the Inner Sky looks to be a meta-changing card, being a replacement to the already powerful Plane 1 card in Azorius Soldiers. She essentially has the ability to be Flying and Vigilance late game, but also generate tokens and scry you pieces out of your deck. Incredibly powerful card considering the fact she is only 1 mana.